Have you ever been in a relationship where you just feel like you're going crazy? Where one minute the person is completely charming and the next they're starting a massive fight over absolutely nothing? It's so confusing, right? And it's exhausting. It leaves you just wondering, what is actually going on here? What's the hidden logic behind all of their actions? What do they really want from you? It's a question that can feel totally impossible to answer. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain and figure this out. You see, behind all that chaos, all the manipulation and those wild mood swings, there is one single, powerful driving force. It's this constant, almost desperate need for a very specific kind of psychological fuel. And that fuel has a name: narcissistic supply. Honestly, this concept is the key to everything. Once you get what this is and how they get it, their entire pattern of behavior starts to make a weird, chilling kind of sense. So what in the world is supply? Let's break this down, because this idea explains everything from why they crave praise to why they seem to love creating drama. Okay, so narcissistic supply is basically the psychological energy they have to get from other people. You can almost think of it like a drug they are completely addicted to. It has nothing to do with love or a real connection. It's all about feeding their super fragile ego and making sure they feel powerful. And it's not just one thing either. It actually comes in two very different flavors. That's right. Not all supply is the same, but to the narcissist, it's all valuable. They basically operate on two main currencies: positive supply and negative supply. Let's dig into how each one works. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The core difference is pretty simple when you break it down. Positive supply, that's all about them feeling good about themselves, feeling superior. But negative supply, well, that's about them feeling in control of other people, and they need both. So positive supply is what you'd probably expect. It's getting admiration, tons of praise, always being the center of attention. They feel great when they're successful and look better than everyone else. And here's the crazy part. They get that fix even if the praise is totally fake. For them, it's the reaction that matters, not the sincerity. But what about when the compliments dry up? That's where negative supply comes into play. A narcissist gets an incredible feeling of power when they can get a big emotional reaction out of you, making you angry, making you sad, making you anxious. For them, that's proof that they have control over you. It makes them feel powerful. And this right here really gets to the core of it all. I mean, sure, they prefer positive supply. Who wouldn't? It's an easy ego boost. But if that's not on the table, they will absolutely 100% start poking and prodding to get that negative supply instead. Because for them, feeling in control is not optional. So how do they do it? How do they get the supply day in and day out? Well, they've got a whole playbook of manipulation tactics, and they're all designed for one thing: to get a reaction out of you. Let's look at some of their go-to moves. I bet some of these will sound familiar. You ever know someone who puts themselves down, clearly just waiting for you to jump in and say, "No, you're amazing"? That's a classic play for positive supply. Or maybe they shower you with praise, knowing it kind of pressures you to praise them right back. And of course, the most direct way to get negative supply is to just provoke you. Push your buttons until you finally snap and give them that emotional reaction they want. So what if you don't play along? What if you decide not to give them the praise or the angry reaction? Well, the outcome is pretty grim. If you cut off their supply, they will punish you. They will humiliate you, they will belittle you until they force that negative reaction out of you. To them, your fear or your shame is way better than your silence. This brings us to a really tough but critical part of all of this: how the narcissist actually sees you in the relationship. Because to them, you're not a partner or a friend or a family member. You are a resource. The source material uses some really vivid metaphors to explain this. Just let that sink in for a second. A 24/7 convenience store. You're always open, always available, ready to give them exactly what they need the second they want it. It's a completely one-sided transactional relationship where your needs don't even enter the picture. And this next metaphor, it's even more chilling. The milk cow. They will take everything they possibly can from you: your time, your money, your energy, your emotions. And the very moment you stop providing, the second you can't give anymore, you're just discarded, put on a shelf like a useless object. So when you boil it all down, it comes to this: they don't need you to love them. They don't even need you to forgive them for how they treat you.
The only thing that matters, the only thing, is that you stay trapped in their maze, where they can count on you as a reliable source of supply. Now, I know hearing all of this can feel incredibly heavy, but this knowledge isn't meant to make you feel helpless, just the opposite. It's a tool. It is the very first step you can take to reclaim your own power.
Because once you understand this desperate, all-consuming need they have for supply, their behavior isn't some big, confusing mystery anymore. It becomes predictable. All the provocations, the manipulations, the sudden mood swings, they all suddenly click into place. You can see them for what they are, tactics in a game you never, ever agreed to play. And that really brings us to the final and most important question. Understanding is the first step, but it's not the last. Once you see the game for what it truly is, once you know all the rules and all their moves, what's your next move?